This is a setup demonstration for the Geed Vape Aegis Solo 100-watt device. Inside the box, you will find the device itself, in addition to a box that will contain the micro USB cable for charging, and underneath the foam tray where the device will be, you'll find an instruction manual and warranty information from the manufacturer. Let's take a look at the device itself. On the front facing, at the very top, you will find your fire button, and then down at the bottom on the front face will be your plus and minus buttons. Plus on top, minus on the bottom. On the side, you will find a dust plug here, which can be removed and moved to the side to expose your micro USB port for charging. This is an external battery device, and so you can charge the battery once you've installed it, either by micro USB cable, or you can remove it and use an external bay charger for charging. And then along the top, you will find the 510 connection where you'll screw your atomizer to the device. Speaking of the required battery, 18650 size batteries are a fit for this device. They are sold separately. To install, on the bottom of the device, you will find your battery cap. There's this little semicircle latch or lever that when you flip it up becomes a handle you can use to unscrew the battery cover. When you look inside, you'll see a big red plus sign by the battery contact on the inside of the device. That is to indicate that the positive end of the battery goes in first to touch that contact. With an 18650 battery, the side that has the button is positive, and the completely flat side is the negative. So we're going to take the side with the button and insert that up into the device like so, and then just replace the battery cap, making sure not to cross thread. Now this device is designed to be shock resistant, water resistant, and dust resistant, hence why they have the dust plug for the micro USB port and a very robust seal along the threading for when you screw in your battery. To turn the device on, you'll take the fire button and give it 5 quick clicks, like so, and that will bring up your display screen. Now let's take a look at the information that's displayed there. At the very top of the display, now first of all, when you press the fire button when no atomizer is attached, it will let you know that there's no coil detected. You may also get that error screen in the event of your coil not making proper connection inside your tank, or your tank not making proper connection with the device itself. But to look at the screen here, you'll see at the very top it says power. That is the current mode of operation, and that's the mode that most of our customers tend to use. All of the tanks that we carry do not come with any temperature control style coils, so power mode is the one you're most likely to need to use. You can switch to other temperature control modes, which we'll go over in just a minute. Now beneath your mode setting, you'll have this big section here where it says 35.0, and that's the current output that you have the device set to operate at. In this case, it's in watts for power mode, and that is indicated by this W next to your battery remaining indicator. Underneath that, you'll have a series of statistics about your mod. At the very top will be the coil resistance. It's currently reading 0.00 because there is no coil attached. Below that, you will see the amperage and voltage that it's currently operating at. Again, there's nothing installed on the top, and it is not being fired, so those are reading at 0. And at the very bottom, you'll have a puff counter, which is also currently reading at 0. To adjust your output, you would use your plus and minus buttons. If you press one at a time, it will go up in 0.1 watt increments. To increase or decrease quicker, you can press and hold either the plus or minus button, and it will scroll quickly. Like so. If you are wanting to change to a different mode because, say, for example, you're using a temperature control style coil, all you have to do to change the operating mode is to, instead of 5 clicks to turn the device on and off, give it 3 quick clicks. And then you'll notice that now the mode setting is highlighted. To switch between the different modes, I would simply scroll through with the plus or minus buttons. But we're going to get this back to the standard power mode for now, because the tank that I'll be using to demonstrate further with is a standard type of coil, not a temperature control. Now, when the mode selection is operative and you have that highlighted, you can scroll through different settings you can adjust by using the fire button. This here has the coil's resistance highlighted. That is something that you will only want to adjust if you're using temperature control. If you're using a standard type of coil for power mode, you will not want to adjust that. Just let the device read the resistance of the coil itself. From there, when we have this bottom setting highlighted, the puff counter, you can delete your puff counter, reset it back to 0. Now you'll notice that that highlight just went away. That's because the mode settings do time out. So once you've made any adjustments you want to make, all you have to do to get back to normal operating mode is to just wait for a few moments until the highlight goes away, and then you'll be able to use the plus and minus buttons to adjust your output and use the fire button to activate your coil when you have your tank attached. Speaking of tanks, one of the most popular tanks to pair with this device is the I-B from Innokin. Now, this, for information about setting up any tank that you might have purchased from us, or this one in particular, you can visit our tanks page, and you will find the listing for all of the tanks that we carry, as well as beneath each of the listings, an embedded video much like this one that will give you a tutorial about how to set up that particular tank. Now, whenever you're going to start running a coil, you will want to make sure you adjust your output to be within the recommended wattage range of the coil that you're using. This one, a good spot for it is about 35 watts. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this down from the wattage I had it up to and get it down to 35 watts. Like so. So that it would be an appropriate setting for the tank, and then you can just screw your tank on, again making sure not to cross thread, and making sure that you have it on there finger tight and snug so that it will make contact. Now whenever you install your tank back onto the device, it's going to ask you if it's the same coil or not. We generally recommend always pressing plus for yes. All that does is causes the device to reread the resistance of the coil, and that makes sure that it's got the most accurate resistance reading possible. That's important because the resistance of your coil and the wattage setting that you have it set to is how the device calculates how much energy to draw from that battery to produce the desired amount of vapor. And so if your resistance is off, it's going to potentially heat your coil much more than it should or much less than it should for that wattage range that you've selected. And then once you have your tank installed, you can press and hold to activate and use the device. To turn this device into a locked mode where you would still be able to fire the button but not accidentally adjust your wattage, all you have to do is simply press and hold the plus and minus buttons at the same time, and then you'll see that little padlock symbol appear above the W. That will indicate that now your plus and minus buttons are completely locked. But you can still use the device. To lock the fire button, you do have to turn the device off with the 5 clicks, and then it goes into its power down mode. If you would like to adjust your wattage and unlock the plus and minus keys, you simply use that same press both buttons until the padlock symbol above the W goes away. That's about everything you need to know for setting up the Geed Vape Aegis Solo mod. Happy vaping!